All right, I'm going to just be real. Too often we get in this egocentric mindset where we think that our world is everybody's world. The world that we live in today is the world that we've always lived in. And we have this perception that is not based on reality. I mean, we have to realize that our nation has evolved, our nation has grown, our nation has changed, and as a result we've added amendments and corrections to the way that our government works in response to those changes. And I've talked about the fact that here in America, the way that we handle money, utilize money, has changed dramatically over the last 100 years. Just 150 years ago, we had more than 8,000 different examples of currency in this country. 8,000. In our country, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing in response to our environment and our needs. You realize back in the 1970s, it was illegal for lawyers to advertise? That's right, it was illegal. You recognize that today it's still illegal for cigarette companies to advertise on public TV. We have rules, we have laws in place to protect us in spite of some freedoms that we perceive. We have the First Amendment that protects freedom of speech, but yet we limit it in certain circumstances. We've heard the example of screaming fire in a movie theater. We've seen the examples of lawyers being restricted from advertising. We've seen that cigarette companies still can't advertise. We could talk about the Second Amendment and how it was established as a compromise to try to make sure that states maintained rights. The idea behind the Second Amendment was to allow militias to be formed to protect states from federal oversight. It was a compromise that was thrown in to try to get 75% of the states to agree to other changes and other amendments. The idea was that states would be able to protect themselves if the federal government ever got too big and powerful. We wanted individuals to be able to maintain and bear arms so that they could have militias to protect themselves. In today's world, that's not necessarily the way we operate. We look at what happened at January 6th and we unilaterally condemn the idea of trying to overthrow the government. We look at what happened in the 1860s when the South tried to overthrow the government, and we unilaterally condemn it. In our country today, it is illegal to own nuclear weapons. In our country today, it is illegal to own an Uzi. In our country today, it is illegal to own bomb-making equipment. The conversation shouldn't be get rid of all guns. The conversation shouldn't be change everything. The conversation should be how do we evolve where we currently are? We already have restrictions in place. Just restrict more.